So now we're going to be coaching and working on the jump shot. So here's my participant. He's going to learn how to properly shoot a jump shot. Think about 5 of these. Let's see how it goes. So how'd that feel?
Then none of them went in.
Yeah. All right, so there's some things that were good. There's some things that could definitely be improved. So you had good follow through, you had good spin on the ball, but you definitely want to guide with this hand and then follow through mainly with the right. You had the ball on both hands when you were trying to shoot, and it caused the spin to be a little off, and it caused the ball to go to the right a little bit. You also want to plant your feet more shoulder width apart. You want to square up to the basket, and you also want to keep a little bit of space in between the palm. You want your elbow to be directly lined up with the basket. So you do it, it should be like this. And it'll definitely improve a little bit. So when you take a couple shots, see how it feels. Get some bend in the knees too. Look good? So get in the form, let me see. Hello. So when you come up, go like you're about to shoot, the elbow in just a little bit more, a little space, and then follow through mainly with the right. So let me see the shot. Good. Did that feel good? Yeah? See a couple more. Try and get the legs a little bit more apart, a little more shoulder width. But otherwise, for the most part, it looks good. Thanks, coach. All right. You got it. All right. So now I'm going to teach them how to do the pick and roll. So do you guys have a general idea of what the pick and roll is? No, coach. Okay. So here's my point guard. He's going to take the ball up. So the universal sign for a pick and roll is a symbol like this where you put the fist up. So I'm going to start over here. You could come and observe from now. Come a little closer. All right, so go start and call aside for the pick. All right, so I'm going to come in. I'm going to keep my legs shoulder width apart, my shoulders in, and then he's going to come around me. You don't want to have elbows out because if he comes around, he gets hit. You can consider an offensive foul. If your legs are too wide and he comes around, try and come around. And he trips and he bangs over my knee, it could also be considered an offensive foul. So you really want to keep it tucked in. So now, when my point guard comes around, after I set the pick, he wants to come a little closer so you can see. Come around this way. So when he comes around, he wants to almost graze my shoulder coming close. So that way, it's not much room for him to get around and try and block him. So what I want to do after that is I want to take my foot and I want to roll this way with him. So that way, when he comes around, he has the option to shoot it if he's open, take a jump shot, he could take a layup, or he can hit me over here, take my own shot. So let's try it again. So call the sign for the pick and roll. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to set the pick, he's going to come around. I want to come around this way, you can either shoot it, or I can come in for the layup. So now you come in, and you're going to try the pick and roll. Make sure you come around. Alright. Now what do you think you did wrong there?
I don't know, coach.
Alright. So when you came around, you turned this way, and you didn't open yourself up as much. Defender could also come right in. If you come around this way, get the inside, it's easier for him to pass the ball, and you can come in for the layup easier. If he comes in, do it again, like that. The way you just did it, with the other foot. So let's say I'm playing defense, and then he comes around. He gives me the option to go right here and take the ball. So come around and try doing it with your other foot now. So I'm playing defense. Now he has the option to get the ball. It's much harder for me to get it because it's a much easier shot. Makes sense. So now let's do it in full effect. So you see, he has the open layup. He's able to come through. And he also had the option to pass it if he needed to, where he was open for the shot. And that's how the pick and roll works.
Coach, state the positives.
All right, so some of the positives today is that you guys were engaged in the coaching process. You guys were willing to learn. And you guys were learning pretty quickly the different plays and the way to shoot a jump shot properly. And you guys progressed pretty well.
Coach, state the negatives.
All right, so some of the negatives was that we kind of lacked time management. I was trying to micromanage you guys a little bit. We definitely could have focused more on repetition, making sure you guys got the plays down, the shot form down, make sure you guys could work the muscle memory for the mechanics and fundamentals.
Coach, tell them what to do next time.
So next time, I think we definitely just keep repeating what we were doing today, keep working on the mechanics with jump shot, keep working on the pick and roll play, making sure that we get it down efficiently.
What went well?
I thought you did a very good job explaining when each drill or move would be used and at the appropriate time. And I also thought you did a good job explaining why each move was used. The goals were clear and coherent.
Players, what didn't go well?
I think one of the things that didn't go well was the use of communication between you and all of us, because having 3 players out there it's hard to coach all of us, but I think we'll do better next time.
Players, what will you do next time?
Next time? Next time I think we can just do more repetitions, really enforce what you were trying to teach us, so we'd get it down more, and maybe just expand on different types of drills.
All right, sounds good.
So for my coaching video, I used both the whole part whole and the part whole method when I was coaching my athletes. For the jump shot, I used the whole part whole method because I believe it was more of a simple task. So I really wanted to just see how the player would shoot their jump shot, their fundamentals, their mechanics. And I feel like I can go in from there and observe it and then see what they need to do to correct it to help get their form better and help shoot a more proper jump shot. So I really sat back, I observed, I wanted to see how they took a couple shots. Then I went in and I made changes, and I let them go back in and see how they would do the jump shot again. As they were doing it, I was still critiquing a couple things, making sure that they were staying in that proper form, making sure it felt comfortable to them. I then used the part whole method when I was coaching the pick and roll. I believe that this was a more complex task than the jump shot, and I believe that if I were to coach it all together at once, it would have been more confusing for my players to understand. So I used the different parts where I was teaching them how to set the pick, teaching them how to properly roll off as close as possible, and then observing their options of either taking the jump shot, the layup, or passing it off to the guy who just set the pick for them who could hit the shot. So I believe that coaching this into little segments and parts could help the player best understand how to properly set the pick, how to properly roll off, and how to properly survey their options.